What if I told you that every moment of your life, your birth, your death, and everything in between, exists simultaneously, frozen in an eternal block of space-time? That the flow of time you experience right now is nothing more than an illusion created by your brain. Einstein himself said, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." Today we explore why modern physics suggests time might not exist at all. In 1972, French geologist Michel Siffre spent 6 months living in a cave in Texas. The experiment was part of a NASA project to study the effects of prolonged isolation on the human body and mind, research essential for future interplanetary missions. Deep underground, Siffre had no clocks, no sunlight, no way to tell whether it was day or night. He lived in free rhythm, sleeping and waking whenever he felt like it. What happened to him was extraordinary. His days stretched to 25, then 32 hours. Sometimes his subjective day lasted 48 hours, twice the normal length. When researchers told him the experiment was over after 179 days, Siffre was shocked. He thought only 151 days had passed. His internal sense of time had slowed so dramatically that he had lost nearly a month. Siffre was not alone. In 1988, Véronique Leguin lived in a cave in France for 111 days but believed only 42 had passed. In 1989, Italian designer Stefania Follini spent 4 months underground, but thought it was only 2. In 1993, an Italian sociologist lived underground for an entire year. And when he emerged in what he thought was summer, he discovered it was already winter. These cases reveal something unsettling. Our perception of time is not objective. But here is what is truly disturbing. Neither, it seems, is time itself. You might say time distortion is just a quirk of psychology, a peculiar feature of isolated human minds. But if we look beyond our subjective experience, what actually is time? 1600 years ago, St. Augustine wrote, "If no one asks me, I know what time is. If I wish to explain it to one who asks, I do not know." And physicist Richard Feynman echoed this sentiment. It would be nice if we just accepted that time is one of those things we probably cannot define. The working definition in physics is almost comically circular. Time is what clocks measure. Intuitively, most of us think of time as a sequence of events flowing from past to future through the present. The present feels special. It is the only moment that is real. The past has vanished. The future has not happened yet, right? Modern physics suggests this intuition is completely wrong. Let me describe a thought experiment. Imagine a strange train with a single car 400,000 kilometers long, moving in a straight line at 200,000 kilometers per second. In the exact middle stands a person holding 2 extremely powerful pistols. One pointing toward the front window, one toward the back. The bullets travel at 200,000 kilometers per second. When this person fires both guns simultaneously, what happens? From their perspective, both windows shatter at exactly the same moment. 1 second later. Simple. But now, imagine someone standing on a stationary platform watching the train pass at the exact moment of the shot. The bullet fired backward is essentially stationary relative to the platform, but the bullet fired forward should be traveling at 400,000 kilometers per second, faster than light. Impossible. According to Einstein's special relativity, time dilates. The forward bullet's effective speed becomes only about 277,000 kilometers per second. The windows do not break simultaneously. The rear window shatters first, then with a delay, the front window breaks. This phenomenon is called the relativity of simultaneity. And it tells us something deeply strange about reality. We seem to have two different realities. In one, both windows are either simultaneously intact or simultaneously broken. In the other, there exists a moment when the rear window is already shattered, while the front window is still whole. These are not different universes. Both observers exist in the same universe, and yet they cannot agree on when the windows broke. So, whose reality is real? According to special relativity, both. Both realities are equally valid. Both are equally real. Most explanations stop here. But wait, how can contradictory statements both be true? What kind of universe allows this to be possible? Nobel laureate Roger Penrose proposed a thought experiment that makes this even more disturbing. Even at very slow relative speeds, the chronological differences become enormous if the 2 points are far enough apart. Imagine 2 people slowly walking past each other on a street. At the exact moment they pass, they transport themselves hypothetically to the Andromeda galaxy, 2.5 million light years away. From the perspective of the person walking toward Andromeda, an alien fleet has already launched on a mission to destroy all life on Earth. From the perspective of the person walking away from Andromeda, the decision to launch that fleet has not even been made yet. The difference? Several days. Even the slightest movement of your head changes which events are simultaneous across the cosmos. Your head, your hands, your feet, they each have slightly different present moments spanning the universe. So what does the universe actually look like if we could step outside of it? According to special relativity, we would see an unchanging 4-dimensional block, where time exists as just another spatial coordinate. This is called the block universe. Mathematician Rudy Rucker wrote, "It turns out to be actually impossible to find any objective, universally acceptable definition of all of space at this moment." This follows from Einstein's special theory of relativity. Thus, the idea of the block universe is something more than an attractive metaphysical theory. It is a well-established scientific fact. When Einstein first published his theory, he did not frame time as a 4th dimension. It was his former teacher, Hermann Minkowski, who formulated the geometric interpretation. In 1908, Minkowski declared, "Henceforth, space by itself and time by itself are doomed to fade away into mere shadows, and only a kind of union of the two will preserve an independent reality." But if the universe is a frozen block, why do we experience time flowing? Neuroscientist Dean Buonomano offers a fascinating perspective. The brain, he argues, is fundamentally a time machine, not in the sense of traveling through time, but in the sense of working with time. For hundreds of millions of years, animals have competed to predict the future. Predators learn to anticipate prey. Prey learn to anticipate predators. When a ball rolls off a table, you automatically move to catch it where it will bounce. When a wolf pauses to sniff the air, it is building predictions about what might happen in the next seconds, minutes, or hours. Our desire to tap our feet or nod along to music, that is the brain constantly predicting the next beat. Temporal processing is so fundamental to the brain that mechanisms for determining time are embedded at the most basic level in neurons, synapses, and neural networks. There is a man whose present moment, in a sense, stopped 40 years ago. Clive Wearing was a British musicologist who suffered a severe infection that damaged his hippocampus. His brain completely lost the ability to form new long-term memories. His memory of events lasts between 7 and 30 seconds. Every 20 seconds or so, Clive awakens, rebooting his consciousness when his short-term memory expires. For nearly 4 decades, he has believed each moment is his first after emerging from a coma, Doctors recommended he keep a journal. The pages are haunting. 8:31 a.m. Now I am truly completely awake, crossed out. 9:06 a.m. Now I am absolutely completely awake for the first time. Ignore the last entry, crossed out page after page. The same desperate attempt to anchor himself to the timeline. In a documentary, Clive described his experience. There is no difference between day and night, no thoughts at all, no dreams. Day and night the same, empty, exactly like death. We have all heard stories of time slowing down during life-threatening situations. A car crash victim describes watching the collision unfold in slow motion. A soldier whose vehicle hit a mine says time seemed to stop entirely. Buonomano proposes 3 hypotheses. First, the brain might briefly overclock itself, increasing efficiency by 10 to 20% during emergencies. Second, hypermemory. The brain might encode memories at higher resolution during trauma, making them seem drawn out in retrospect. But the third hypothesis is most intriguing, the meta-illusion. When you touch a table, you feel the sensation in your fingertip, not in your brain where the processing actually happens. The brain projects sensations to specific locations in space. If the brain constructs such stable spatial illusions, why would it not construct temporal ones? Our normal sense of time might simply have different speed settings. Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget discovered something remarkable about how children understand time. When shown 2 snakes crawling at different speeds but stopping simultaneously, children aged 5 to 6 consistently reported that the faster snake stopped later. Children intuitively understand that for faster-moving objects, time stretches. It is as if we have an innate pre-Einstein grasp of relativity. Adults show this connection too. When 2 lights flash sequentially, people estimate longer time intervals when the lights are farther apart, even when the actual interval is identical. This is called the kappa effect. How do you visualize chronology? Arrange 2021, 2022, and 2023 in your mind. Almost certainly you place them in space, probably left to right. We cannot even conceptualize time without borrowing spatial metaphors. Every language uses spatial words for time. Looking back, moving forward, short life, long wait. Here's the deepest problem. In a block universe, there is no reason for time to flow in one direction. Newton's equations, Einstein's equations, Maxwell's equations, Schrodinger's equation, all are symmetric with respect to time. They work equally well forward or backward, yet we experience time as a one-way street. We remember the past, but not the future. Eggs break, but do not unbreak. This asymmetry has no fundamental explanation in physics. Einstein himself was troubled by this. Philosopher Rudolf Carnap recounted a conversation. Einstein said that the problem of the now worried him seriously. He explained that the experience of the now means something special for man, but that this important distinction does not and cannot occur within physics. The resolution many physicists accept is uncomfortable. The flow of time is an illusion. Not an illusion with a physical correlate, like color, which corresponds to wavelengths, but an illusion in the truest sense, something that exists only in our minds with no counterpart in physical reality. Philosopher Craig Callender wrote, "The equations of physics do not explain which events happen now. They are like a map, with no "you are here" marker. Some physicists try to reconcile the block universe with our experience. David Deutsch suggests that every moment contains its own perceptions and memories, rich enough to create the sensation of flowing time, without time actually flowing. Perhaps something deeper lies beneath. Perhaps space and time are themselves derived from a more fundamental reality we have not yet discovered. Science cannot yet grasp a fundamental property of time that the human mind perceives as naturally as lungs absorb air. Either there is something objectively real about the flow of time that our physics cannot detect, or the human mind artificially creates a property that does not exist in the laws of nature. Einstein put it simply: we physicists believe the separation between past, present, and future is only an illusion, however persistent, and perhaps that is the strangest thing of all. Not that the universe is bizarre, but that we evolved to experience something that might not exist,